going to make an Italian delicacy. We're going to make the lasagna. So we're going to be making two sauces to go with the lasagna. The first sauce we're making is a Mornay sauce. A Mornay sauce is nothing but a bechamel sauce enriched with egg yolks and some grated Gruyere cheese. So let's start with first heating up some butter and flour in a saucepan to make a roux. Now we've heated up about 150 grams of butter with 150 grams of flour. Let it melt and come together. When there's a light boil, I pour in a litre of cold milk. And now I whisk this till it thickens. Make sure you keep whisking. Once it comes to a boil and it has thickened, bring the stove down to a low flame. Otherwise, milk everywhere. Not pretty. Now, if I was making bechamel sauce, or white sauce as some people like to call it for some reason, I would be done now. I would add salt, pepper, and a little bit of nutmeg, and be done. But to make a bechamel sauce or Mornay sauce, I'm going to add in it 2 whisked egg yolks. Make sure you immediately give them a good whisk, otherwise scrambled eggs in bechamel sauce. Not pretty again. Once the egg yolk is whisked in, we add grated Gruyere cheese, as much as you wish. 200 grams seems like a good amount though, for a litre of milk. Now we whisk it in, and we add some salt and crushed black pepper. You can alternatively add white pepper. Now that the sauce is done, let's keep it aside and start with the next one. Now let us make the Marinara Sauce. For this I'm going to put a pan on a medium to high flame and add in a good amount of olive oil. When the oil is heated up, add in a good amount of garlic, how much ever you wish. Cook the garlic in the oil, but make sure you don't color the garlic. Now we add in some chopped dry red chilli and a few leaves of basil. Now before the garlic gets colored in the oil, we add in some tomato puree. When the sauce comes to a boil, you can add some more crushed red chili if you wish. If you, like me, love your spice. And a teaspoon of sweet paprika powder. Give it a good mix. Now we add some dry oregano. Give it a mix. Salt and crushed black pepper. Give it a mix. Finally, we add more basil. And just a touch of some water. And now we let this boil for a minute or two. So the marinara sauce is done. I can take it off the flame and keep it aside. But since I want to make chicken lasagna, to the boiling marinara sauce, I will add some minced chicken. Cook it in the sauce itself. Now that the chicken is cooked, let's take it off the flame and keep it aside till we need to use it again. So now it's time for us to prepare the sheets of pasta for the lasagna. For this, I have boiled a good amount of water and I have salted the water. To this, I'm going to add a little bit of oil so that when we take the pasta out of the water, it doesn't stick and it's lubricated slightly by the oil. So let the water boil. When the water's come to a boil, we add in a sheet of lasagna at a time. Give the pasta a light stir so that it doesn't stick to each other. And let it cook for about 2 to 3 minutes in boiling water. Now, since lasagna is cooked twice, one more time in the oven after this, we're going to cook our pasta al dente. So after 2-3 minutes, when it has softened but not turned completely opaque and soft, we take it out of the water and keep it on a plate. Now that the pasta is done cooking, let's immerse these sheets of lasagna in some cold water to stop the cooking completely, but make sure we drain the water completely before using it. Now let us start with the assembly for the lasagna. For this we need a glass or ceramic casserole dish. I'm going to butter this dish now. Spread just a touch of the Mornay sauce on the base. Now we put in the sheets of the lasagna. Make the first layer of some Mornay sauce. Sprinkle some grated mozzarella cheese. And now we put in the second layer of the lasagna sheets. Put in a layer of the chicken and marinara sauce. Sprinkle some mozzarella cheese. And now put in the next layer of the pasta. And repeat till you reach the top. When you reach the last layer, sprinkle some mozzarella cheese on top, a touch of white sauce, sprinkle on some breadcrumbs. This will give it a nice crispy texture on top. Now we've sprinkled on some more mozzarella cheese. And now we take this bellissimo piece of lasagna into the oven and bake it for 30 minutes at 190 degrees. And now we let this cool for about 10 minutes before we cut a piece. So there you have it, a pride of Italy, the bellissimo lasagna. Bon appétit!
Well, the recipe for the day is an stew, and not just any stew, it is a red pumpkin stew. Let's begin. You get a variety of stew, of course, in Kolkata, you get it in Delhi, you get it in Lucknow, you also get it in Kerala. Well, Kerala is known for its stew and appams. The stew that I'm making today is deliberately pronounced stew. Reasons best known to us, but the whole point is I'm changing the core ingredient today and I'm making the same classic recipe using red pumpkins. Let's quickly cut and keep that aside. First things first, we take a red pumpkin, of course wash it nicely, clean it up and then cut it like so. Now what I'm doing is I'm cutting it into wedges so that the plating also looks wonderful. So cut this into a half, then into a quarter, and then we cut this into 3 wedges like so. Let's scoop out the seeds like so. And of course you can keep all these aside, sun dry them, dry it in an oven, and use these as pumpkin seeds. For now, I'm just keeping it aside. In case you feel like removing the peel or the skin of the pumpkin, by all means you can do that as well. Let's keep this aside and move on to making the stew. Let's turn the flame on and begin with coconut oil. I'm going to keep a little aside for the second tempering as well. Let's begin the tempering with a stick of cinnamon, a couple of pieces of green cardamom, and a couple of cloves. Let's add in juliennes of ginger, juliennes of green chillies. Now it really depends on the kind of spice that you wish to take. You can keep increasing or decreasing. Once the oil becomes well flavored, we'll be adding in the wedges of pumpkin. Let's saute this for a couple of minutes and add in the thin coconut milk. Couple of grains of salt, and along with this, a generous sprinkling of homemade garam masala. We stir this well and allow the stew to cook till of course the pumpkins are well done, or to the doneness of your choice. This will take not more than 8 to 10 minutes on medium flame. While the pumpkins are getting cooked, let's quickly move on to the second tempering, for which of course we need another pan, and we begin with the remainder of the coconut oil. Once that heats up, we're going to begin with mustard seeds. Let's move on to red onions or shallots and brown these lightly. Once the onions turn brown, I'm going to add in a sprig of curry leaves, a quick stir, and this now straight goes in the stew. Once the pumpkin is cooked and ready, let's finally add in thick coconut cream. We cook this on medium flame for precisely 30 seconds. A quick swirl, and with this, off goes the flame. With this, our red pumpkin stew is done and ready. What do you serve this with? Well, classically, appams. While no rice, no parothas, absolutely nothing. Just appams or just like this. No two ways about it. Bye for now.
Guys, in today's recipe, I'm gonna do a dish which is very close to my heart. This is a dish which I did in the beginning of my career. I call it lemon rosemary seared chicken, and it's dedicated specially to all my chef friends. To start with the chicken, first we'll start marinating the chicken. For that, I'll take some oil. I'll add some mustard paste. With that, I'm gonna add some chopped garlic. Now I'll add the first star ingredient of the dish, that is rosemary. Now I'm gonna add some seasoning. First, I'm gonna add some salt and black pepper. And with that, I'm gonna add the second star ingredient of the dish, that is lemon. Now we'll start massaging the chicken in the marination. And now I'm going to dust some flour on the chicken breast. This will give nice color once the chicken is ready, and also will give a nice thickness to the marination. After marinating the chicken, I'm going to start grilling it. I'm going to switch on the gas, add some oil. As the oil starts heating up, I'm going to place the chicken breast onto the grill pan. And I'm going to sear them on both sides for at least 12 minutes. After cooking the chicken breast on one side, it's time to change. The chicken is almost ready. We'll start preparing the side. First, we'll prepare the mashed potatoes. For that, I'll take some butter. Once the butter starts melting, I'm going to add the potatoes to it. Let me cook it for a minute in the butter. After cooking the potato for a few minutes in the butter, I'm going to add some nutmeg powder. This will give good aroma to the mash once it's ready. Again, give a good mix. And after adding nutmeg, I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. And with that, I'm going to also add some milk. And to finish off the mash, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cream. And our mash is ready. Now we'll start preparing our sauté vegetables. For this, I'll take another pan, add some oil to it. With that, first I'm going to add some chopped garlic. When the garlic starts get going, I'm going to add in the vegetables to it. And some chopped rosemary. And with this, I'm going to add in some seasoning to it, some crushed pepper and some salt. Let's toss them up. The vegetables are almost ready. I'll saute the chicken also at the same time and turn it side for one last time and cook it for a few more minutes. At this stage, I'm going to take the plate in which we had done the marination, add some water to it, rub it nicely, making it into a nice stock and pouring it on top of the chicken. And with this also I'm going to add little mustard. Let the chicken get nicely mixed with the stock. As you can see, it's becoming a nice gravy for the chicken. The chicken and the sides are ready. Let's start plating them. First we'll put the mash. Now we'll do finishing of the chicken with the sauce. For that, I'm going to add some lemon slices to it and a sprig of rosemary. Little water. Let it heat up for a minute. I'm making a sauce in the same pan in which I have grilled the chicken because it has all the juice of the chicken which we had grilled earlier. The sauce is nicely ready, as you can see the thickness. And to finish the sauce, I'm going to add little cream to it. Mix it up nicely. And the sauce is ready, and I'll directly pour it on the chicken. And there you go guys, my chef special lemon rosemary seared chicken is now ready.
There are very few dishes that shout out Italy, and spaghetti with meatballs is certainly one of those. Today, let's see my take on this classic recipe. For this, we need some spaghetti, of course, which we would start boiling in roll boiling water. This goes in the water without breaking, and make sure the water is well salted. Keep pushing this a little. Make sure you do not break the strands of spaghetti. While this is cooking, let's start making the meatballs. I'm taking some minced meat. To this, I'm adding some breadcrumbs. These are fresh breadcrumbs. For some flavor, there's going to be fresh garlic, which I'm going to bash up and mince roughly. Just chop it roughly. For some sweet flavor, I'm going to use some curled parsley. Just take the leaves, bundle it up together and chop it as fine as you can. Well, after this, I'm going to use a rocking motion. I'm following this up with some fresh rosemary. This is going to add to the nice robust flavor of the meat. Just going to use the leaves, discard the stalk, or you can use this for your soups. Again, bundle this up and chop it as fine as you can. For some flavor and seasoning, I'm going to use salt. For spiking up the flavor of the meat, cinnamon powder, along with freshly crushed black pepper. Well, alternately, you can also use some chili flakes, paprika, or cayenne pepper. For binding, I'm going to use an egg. Well, after this, let's quickly check the doneness of the spaghetti. This seems to be done. Perfectly done. Let's drain this out. Drain out all the excess water. To this, I'm just going to splash a little bit of olive oil. This could be pomace in this case. Just a quick toss. And now let's move on to the meatballs again. Let's mix this mixture. While this is done best with your hands, you could also alternatively use a food processor. In case you need a nice cheesy flavor to this, you could also use some Parmesan cheese. While I'm mixing this, let's heat a pan on moderate flame. While the pan is heated up, let's add in some olive oil. And to flavor the oil, I'm using some bay leaves. Along with this, some fresh rosemary. And let's start making the meatballs. For this, I'm dipping my fingers in some cold water and making lemon-sized balls. This goes straight in the pan. Turn these over and make sure they're nice and golden brown on all sides. Well, it's been 5 to 6 minutes that I'm constantly turning these over, and these are 3/4 cooked now. Let's transfer these on a plate. For the sauce, let's first start cutting the vegetables. For this, some garlic. Chop this up roughly now. And let's place this aside. Let's chop a red onion. Some slices of mushrooms. In this case, some button mushrooms. With this, I'm also going to chop in some blanched tomatoes. Make sure you remove the skin as well as the seeds. Once the tomatoes are chopped, I'll make the sauce in the same pan as that of the meatballs. But before that, let's discard the rosemary. Make sure there's a single bay leaf still in the pan. Let's top up with the remaining oil. In the warm pan, I'll slide in the onion and garlic and saute this till it becomes nice and translucent. This would take 30 to 40 seconds, after which I'll add in the sliced mushrooms. To this, some salt and pepper. And in go the tomatoes. To increase the sweet flavor of this sauce, I'll be tearing in some fresh basil leaves. And to this, very little sugar, and this is completely optional. A quick mix and half a cup of lukewarm water. At this stage, I'll be transferring the meatballs into the sauce. Give this a mix. And allow this to poach. It's been 6 minutes and I'm sure the meatballs are perfectly done. Let's quickly check. Well, time to add in the spaghetti. Along with this, for some additional flavor, I'm adding in some butter. And let's give this a nice toss. As soon as this is mixed, off goes the flame and let's begin with the plating.
This chicken mushroom masala is the perfect recipe for a lazy winter day when you want to cook something quickly but with very little effort. All good things start with an excellent marination, so I've got 450 grams of boneless chicken here, which I have just cut up into cubes like this. Very simple marinade. I'm just going to start with adding some salt, little bit of black pepper, a good amount of chopped garlic, and of course some finely minced ginger. Mix that together with the chicken really well. Now you want to let this marinate and rest for anywhere between half an hour to 1 hour. After letting the chicken marinate for half an hour, I'm ready to start cooking. So here in this pan, I'm first going to add some oil. And now to this slightly warmed up oil, I'm going to add 1 onion that's been chopped up. Swirl that around. And while these onions are frying up, I'm also going to add some finely minced ginger and garlic. Mix that in with the onions. One totally optional green chilli split into half, but I would highly recommend it. Now let's add our spices, starting with some coriander powder. Good amount of red chilli powder. And a tiny amount of turmeric. Just mix that in with the onion. I'm adding a tiny splash of water just so that the spices don't burn. If you find that your pan has not heated up that much, you can avoid the water at this stage. You don't have to brown the onions all the way through at this stage. We are going to add chicken and let the onions and the masalas cook right through. So now it's time to add the chicken. Now that I've let the chicken cook slightly on one side, now I'm going to take the flame down to low and just mix this through really well. I'm going to cover this and let it cook for about a couple of minutes. Time to check on the chicken. Oh, that looks good. Give that a slight stir. Now I'm going to add the mushrooms. I've not chopped them very finely because they will cook down. Take the flame up when you're adding the mushrooms. That way they will sear and release their water. And coat them in these juices. Now just for another couple of minutes, I'm going to cover this and let it cook. It's smelling absolutely divine here, so that's my cue to check on this. Oh wow, bubbling away, and you can see that the oil has separated from the masala. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. Salt will be right in the end. And then almost immediately add the capsicum. Take the flame up to high and now just saute this. Now that everything is sizzling away and the capsicum has also cooked but not lost its crunch, I'm going to take the flame down to low and add some salt. Saute that in. That's it. This is almost ready. I say almost because after turning off the flame, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. Makes all the difference. My family's favorite chicken mushroom masala is absolutely ready. I'm going to plate it up and then top it up with some coriander.